Sir?
Right. Let's thaw him out.
Okay. Bringing low-level systems online. Cracking the case in 30 seconds. He's hot! Blowing the pins in 5.
Hey, what's up? This is 𝐌𝐤𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐿ASO coming at you with a LASO guide for Halo CE Anniversary. I'm going to try to help you through this mode with the least amount of pain possible. This episode will be dedicated to the Pillar of Autumn. Okay, so before we get to the actual guide, LASO stands for Legendary All Skulls On. I'll get to the specific version of LASO that we're playing on, and I'll mention what every skull does in a moment. So right when you get out of the cryo chamber, play the game as normal until you get to this area. You want to actually stay back and wait for the explosions to happen, while at the same time moving at a brisk pace, because more explosions are going to spawn behind you if you wait too long. And just run through the areas as quick as possible because aliens are shooting at you. So the specific version of LASO that I'm currently doing this guide on will be the MCC Community Playlist version of LASO, which in my opinion is the hardest version. After Captain Keyes hands you your first weapon, which is the Magnum, you want to slowly walk to the end of this hallway. The reason you want to do it slowly is because if you go too fast, you actually won't get the Magnum for whatever reason, and that'll just make everything way tougher, obviously. So once you have the Magnum, what you want to do is headshot at least one of these grunts down the hallway, and because Grunt Funeral is on, he'll actually explode and kill his friends around him. In this cafeteria room, once you grab the assault rifle, run directly to the right, and when you see the enemies come through the door, as you're walking through the door, smack them so they don't take your shield down, and if you take any damage, you can grab that health pack back there. As you're running down this hallway, assassinate that red elite in the back. Don't worry, he'll always be turned around facing the Marines. You can always just duke it out with him because the black eye skull is on, which means your shield instantaneously comes back every time you smack an enemy. However, your shields will permanently stay down if you never smack an enemy. For this section, when the airlock blows up, you want to shoot the first grunt in the head when he comes out. He's kind of tough to hit, but once you hit him, he'll usually start a chain reaction and kill everyone there. I kind of got unlucky. There was a couple stragglers that survived, but I mopped them up in the end. Yeah, you better run. So we got two overshields back in this airlock area here, this Covenant airlock attaching device thing, whatever it's called. I usually don't use both of them because I forget to go back for the second one, but try not to forget to backtrack and grab the other overshield when you need it, because the doors will lock behind you. You can't backtrack through the entire mission. That's a mistake I keep making throughout the Pillar of Autumn. Unfortunately, it's been a while since I played this mission, so I forget when the doors lock and all that stuff, but I'm just saying this to warn you, backtrack when you can. This is another area in which you'll have to use the grunt chain reactions to kill all the enemies. Your Marine allies will be a good distraction, so take advantage of that while you can. Another skull worth mentioning here is the Boom Skull. This skull modifies the explosive radius to ×2. Now the explosives in Halo CE that are already pretty big in their own right are twice as large. This skull will be one of the most detrimental to your success, because in a lot of cases you'll be across the room and the grenade blast radius will still somehow kill you. You want to be as far away as possible to dead grunts and grenades, basically any type of explosive at all. So hunter fuel rods, fuel rod cannons, your own Marines frag grenades, all that type of stuff. That's a good example of what you shouldn't do if a grunt charges you. If you're in the same situation that I was there, you're going to want to back up and seek cover. Get to a safer position away from him before you kill him. That's also a side note about this area. The grunts will charge you in this one hallway. So if you can't headshot the grunt immediately, then run back. When you shoot a grunt in the head, you'll activate the grunt birthday party skull, which causes their head to explode with confetti and children to yell yay in the background. I'm still not sure to this day if that explosion causes any deal of damage to anything around them. If it's an actual explosion, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure in the other Halos it is, but I don't think it is in CE, so yeah. This is another area with some overshields. Obviously stock up on it while you can. That's the nice thing about the Pillar of Autumn, is that they're very generous with these overshields. Can't say as much for the rest of the game. For this area, using the same tactic again, sticking back behind this cover and sort of peeking your head out. Shooting the grunt in the head when you can, trying to get a headshot. When you see that confetti, you know you got him. There's never really a good situation to run head in first if you have full shield. But if you have no shield and an enemy's not looking, then it can be a very good opportunity to run in and get your shield back or assassinate somebody. So keep that in mind.
Combat teams, Alpha through November, pull out the nearest evac stations.
That's a pretty good demonstration on how to take out an elite one-on-one. If you're ever faced with that situation, just run up and start smacking him. Don't worry if he starts to attack you. As long as you're quick enough, you'll be able to regenerate your shield with every smack. However, keep in mind, if you are too slow, there's a very good chance that he'll beat you down. I'd advise that you actually run past this area if you have full overshield, but if you don't have full overshield, try to take out the grunts one by one, and keep in mind the first enemy you kill will actually cause 2 enemies to spawn to the left, a grunt and an elite. Shoot the grunt in the head and it'll kill the elite usually. After your Marines so kindly move out of the way, as always, shoot one of the grunts at the end of the hallway, preferably without being noticed, and watch the chain reaction. Something else that I want to mention is that you're going to want to play in classic graphics if you're finding it hard to headshot people or just difficult to see much of anything because of all the detail. However, for this area, you're probably going to want to switch to Anniversary, as for all the dark areas, because it's much easier to see in the Anniversary version. There are 2 grunts hiding in this shadowy area, so be cautious, because if you run in their guns blazing, there's a very good chance you'll just get blown up. So what you're going to want to do in this area is quickly shoot the one grunt in the head that's standing next to the two elites, and he'll generally kill the one blue elite and damage the red elite severely, the major, so you can take him out with a headshot. This area is pretty difficult, especially since the grunt is pretty RNG based, and he'll generally run up and attack you very quickly sometimes, so you have to be pretty swift about it.
Life pods are launching. We should hurry. The Covenant are destroying the life pods. They really don't want us on that ring. Warning, blast doors closing. We have to use the ship's maintenance access ways. Follow the nav point. It will lead to an opening.
3 grunts at the end of this hallway. They're fairly easy to take out. Cortana will eventually place a nav point at this emergency exit hallway here, and generally you'll have a flashlight for this area if you press like the X button or the RB button depending on the control scheme you have. I currently am running Recon. I'm not sure what it would be if you were running Bumper Jumper or something, but for me it's X, and my X button is broken, so unfortunately we're not going to have any sweet flashlight action in this guide, but you know, I don't really need the flashlight anyways. It's probably the most useless tool, to be honest. I mean, I guess you could make it slightly more inconvenient for the enemies to look at you if you shine the flashlight in their face, but I don't know, that's about it. So once again, same strat as before, headshot grunts, let them take down the elite shields, go up, smack the elites for black eye shields, and you want to use those little pathways, those little side channels in the emergency hallway to duck and cover away from the elites' shots, because they're pretty deadly if you're in a straight, narrow pathway like that. So at this point I decide to go around because I feel like it's a safer decision. Also, I probably have their attention enough on this side of the map to go around and assassinate all of them. Usually you can do that, get the enemy's attention on one side and then go around and smack them in the back. So it looks like it didn't work in this situation, mainly because I think it was mainly because of the grunt spotted me, so he didn't really make it easy for me. But it doesn't really matter since there's only 2 enemies left here. You can kind of just duke it out with them as long as you don't melee the grunt first. Now another tip I want to give real quick. This elite is a good example of an elite you don't want to charge and try to melee because he's down a hallway. Unless you know you can reach him and you're really close to him, don't charge him, because 90% of the time they'll just back up and they are slightly faster than you, so they'll just shred you to pieces and you can't do anything about it. Ooh, looks like somebody wanted to have a slumber party with me. Oh god, Jesus, f that, there's like 2 majors down there.
It looks like the Covenant wanted to catch you napping.
So this part really sucks because there's a lot of RNG explosions that can totally kill you because of the boom skull. But what you're going to want to do is try to headshot one of those grunts. If you fail, it's not that big of a deal, because I'm pretty sure the explosions kill those grunts anyways. And then try to back up away from this guy, because he's dead shot apparently. He's a dead shot with that plasma rifle. And try to wait for that explosion. I don't know what causes that explosion to happen in his little area over there, but it'll eventually happen like that. And you can headshot him, usually. It'll take down his shield. And then once you're done with that, head over to this little broken emergency tunnel over here. And what I usually like to do is smack this grunt to get my shield back and then kill him and run around the corner so the explosion doesn't hit me. Unfortunately, there's a glitch that happens here most of the time that causes the other grunt next to him to die but not explode until you load into that area. And the area is like right at the edge of, you know, just basically looking at his dead body. So basically you can't help but take damage there. So it's really annoying, but it's just something you have to do sometimes. Unless you run past the area, which is possible, but it's risky. We're actually about to come up on the end of the level here, so get your noisemakers ready, boys, because time to celebrate. Well, actually not yet, but almost finished with the first level. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Yeah, basically just headshot these guys. Your Marines will basically take care of them for you, usually. Surprisingly, this is probably the only area in the entire the entirety of the LASO campaign that the Marines will actually do anything. At least for me, they did something. Usually kill that group of enemies by killing a grunt or something. And then it's basically a piece of cake from here on out. As long as you don't do anything stupid and run into the enemies and die, then you're good. So I actually want to talk about the assault rifle before this level ends real quick. The assault rifle, most of the time it's pretty useless, but in times of dire need, like in Truth and Wreck, it is extremely useful. So don't write the assault rifle off completely. It has its moments in terms of ammo conservation. It is very, very valuable, so keep that in mind. We won't be using that valuability until later on, though, like in Truth and Wreck is very important on that level, so yeah. And here is basically supposed to be the grenade tutorial. Pretty sure we all know how to use grenades at this point. So basically just lob grenades at these guys. It's pretty straightforward until they're all dead. One thing you don't want to actually do is lob grenades too fast, because they can actually, the explosions can actually propel your own grenades back into your face and kill you like instantly. So that's a pretty bad idea. I would say throw a grenade, wait 5 seconds, throw a grenade, wait 5 seconds, you know, rinse and repeat till they're all dead. It's not very hard. You pretty much have infinite grenades right here. Not infinite, but pretty close. So yeah, anyways, that's the end of the mission, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on next mission, which is Halo.